slide stuff in on it. Let them know.
He's going to look good climbing out of a Ford Escort.
He's a smart car.
Ford Fiesta.
Get you a Prius, man. Whee!
An electric bicycle.
I'll pay money to see Jonathan on the left.
Me too.
I wasn't going to say that.
Was it before I was doing the emails? Because I might have
Get
been
that
working
picture
on
out.
your email.
Could be,
You riding a mini bike.
Oh, look at
So
that
I
picture
do
of you
appreciate
and
all the information.
Yes, and I know some of it didn't exactly
Catch up.
answer the question. Yeah,
It's,
but it's what I have. But yes,
start working on it.
yes, to try to give you the picture.
Thank
Yes.
you very much. I really appreciate it.
You
He's got it.
You looking out?
All right.
And I'm not the only one.
See, that's exactly why I didn't give you the
My
bill
city
again.
council, that's why we're rolled back. So,
What, the Gilligan one
it's
as
gonna
well?
lower the income to the city.
Well,
The big
it
sheet?
didn't lower it, but we didn't get as much of a bump as what it was.
Did you? I knew it.
Nothing about that any sense this year.
Yeah, I saw, and I was like, my home cleaning that line up in the morning. Somewhere seven. I don't know. 7,000,
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the screen?
No.
Good.
John, it's good to see you, man.
How you doing?
We missed you. All right, we got 1 minute before we will start this meeting.
Good.
Does it have a word counter in it? After so many words, it just cuts off.
All right, I am going to call this budget workshop meeting into order and let the record reflect that we have all council members and the mayor present. And with that, I will turn it over to the city manager, Mr. Deitch. You are up.
All right, thank you, sir. Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is our first budget workshop to examine the fiscal year 2027 budget. What I thought we'd do tonight is I'll start with setting the foundation of what the budget is and does for our city. I will explain some of the fundamentals about the budget, or fundamentals about municipal budgeting, highlight what we did in fiscal year 26, and then we'll dive into the proposed budget for fiscal year 27. So, first off, this budget, a municipal budget, is a financial plan that reflects the priorities, goals, and missions of the City Council, and it's governed by federal and state law. We are required by state law to have a balanced budget, and I'm pleased to announce that the budget you have before you is balanced. This next slide just shows the city's fiscal year budget cycle. So our budget runs from 1 October through 30 September every year. In November through March approximately is when we do our audit for the year prior. In April, the city, staff, and I begin our budget preparations for the next fiscal year. In July, we hold the millage rate hearing, which is the first budget hearing of every fiscal year. And then in August, we have our budget workshops. And then in September, the ordinances will come before the council for approval at first and second reading in September. So our budget has three different pots of money. The general fund is a pot of money of mostly unrestricted funds, and it funds most of our departments, from police to fire, library, senior center, Parks and Rec, etc. This is where the property tax money goes, along with a number of other financial revenue streams that I will show here in a later slide. But this is our only pot of money that is unrestricted. We also have several special revenue funds. These are restricted funds. That's the CRA, surtax, and the Community Development Department. Those are restricted funds. We can only use those monies for statutory purposes. And then we got the enterprise funds. These also are restricted funds. These are not taxes, they're user fees for your water bill, your sewer bill, stormwater bill, things of that nature. So what did we do this year? The Niceville team, we had an extremely busy but very productive year this year. Some of the capital projects that we currently have ongoing, number one, Next Park, in conjunction with Okaloosa County. You know, we've been working on this project for a while now to create the only park in Okaloosa County designed specifically for special needs kids. Our dock and pier landing is under construction down on Bayshore Drive, right across the street from Blue Collar Cafe and Post 20. Jonathan told me this morning that it should be done in the next 4 to 5 weeks. So I'm looking forward to having a ribbon cut and then opening that project and getting it done. And then finally, you know, our Turkey Creek improvements. We got a multi-phase project going on down there at Turkey Creek. You know, this year we teamed up with a local civic group to remodel that bathroom on the south end of Turkey Creek. But we also have plans to pave parking on the north side of that bathroom, install a stormwater retention pond, and a number of other things down there. Ultimately, that next year we're hoping to pave the existing parking lot, put in a playground and things of that nature. So we're doing a number of improvements down on Turkey Creek South. But beyond that, those are not the only projects we got done this year. Again, in collaboration with the county, we installed a 3+ mile reclaimed water line. This is going to be vitally important for the future of our area. Because it will get Deer Moss Creek and hopefully other neighborhoods later in the years ahead off of irrigating their yards with potable water. Deer Moss Creek alone draws millions and millions and millions of gallons of potable water out of our aquifer every year simply for irrigation. And so this reclaimed water line, which was not paid for with local taxes, is going to be a huge benefit not only to Niceville but to the region as a whole. We designed and engineered a new water well that is in the works. I think we're, what, 60% done on that? 70% done on this design and engineering for a new water well. The design and engineering and permitting for a new water tower is complete. We are just waiting on a decision from the state on whether or not we got a grant for that project. I'm expecting a decision on that any day now. The design and engineering for the Palm Boulevard stretch right here between State Road 285 and 20 is complete. And so now we are actively seeking money for that through TPO, grants, surtax, things of that nature. The Hill Lane project is done, so the residents up there on the west side of town can now have an alternate route to get out of their neighborhood, so they don't have to go out on Government Avenue right there at that dangerous stretch as people are flying up the road off of John Sims. We put in the first phase of our multi-use trail system on Palm this year. The Valpy sidewalk got done this year. We replaced more than, I don't know, several thousand water meters. So we are accurately counting how much water is being drawn from the aquifer, and the system is humming now. And then we installed new skate ramps at the skate park for our kiddos. Moving from projects to documents, we secured a new 30-year lease for the Twin Oaks Mullet Festival site. We secured a new 30-year FPL franchise. We updated our comprehensive plan after probably 18 months of work on that. So that our comprehensive plan, while not yet complete at the state level, is done at our level. Our existing comprehensive plan is wildly out of date, statutorily non-compliant, inconsistent, and so this is going to get Niceville into a good place going into the future. We passed a whole bunch of ordinances, one of which being the e-bike ordinance. That's getting a lot of attention right now. We cleaned up Niceville. We removed dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of non-operational cars and boats, tore down blighted buildings. If you have seen it, that old smoke shop that's been an eyesore out on Government Avenue for years and years and years, it's being remodeled. And it's going to be turned into an existing business, and that eyesore is going to be gone. We worked with the former owner and the current owner to make that happen. We also worked with the owner of the apartments at the intersection of North Palm and College. If you recall, earlier this year, there had historically been 30 to 40 trash cans sitting along Palm Boulevard. Those are gone because we work collaboratively with that owner. And then, again, working with one of our really great partners, FPL, to remove all the old poles that are no longer in use around town. To date, they've removed approximately 50 poles that were not in use, and just removing that eyesore from the city of Niceville. They got a long ways to go, but they're making good progress. And we've invested in the future. Thanks to Chief Kukulis and his Herculean effort, the city, the residents of Niceville are very soon going to have an advanced life support system to take care of them. And so that's going to be a huge addition. We also added 3 new fire trucks to our fleet. So over the last couple of years, we have completely, we've got all new fire equipment, 2 new fire engines, and a number of other new fire vehicles. Same thing with the police department. Over the last couple of years, we've almost completely turned over the fleet that was anywhere from 12 to 15 years old. Now police officers are driving around in safe, more fuel efficient vehicles. We've invested in our people through this Certified Public Managers leadership classes at the fire department, police department, and just training across the board. We're investing in our people. And we're investing in them not only professionally but personally in collaboration with the Florida Retirement System and Eglin Federal Credit Union. We've been providing personal finance classes for free for our teammates to help them financially. And most importantly, in 2026, let's not forget, the mayor brought home the Dragon Boat Trophy for a 2nd year in a row. So we were very, very busy in 2026. All right, let's get into fiscal year 2027. This is the high-level overview. The proposed fiscal year 2027 general fund budget is the lowest in 5 years. When we started, the proposed fiscal year budget is 11.2% less than the current fiscal year. When we started this endeavor, my team and I charged them with reducing their operational budgets by 1%. They came back with 11.2% reduction. So they worked extremely, extremely, extremely hard. The general fund budget does not eliminate any services or reduce any services, and in fact it expands it, ALS being one of the prime examples. This proposed budget is not likely to require an interfund transfer. You will note in your budget that I handed you there's a transfer of about $588,000. That has since come down, and we didn't have final numbers. We still don't have final numbers in a couple of areas, but that recently came down. Working with our health insurance broker, instead of getting a 14.7% increase on our health insurance, we're going to get a 4% decrease this year. So that's not factored in. So the actual deficit right now is around $248,000. Again, we're still waiting on some other revenue numbers and some other expense numbers. So I do not anticipate we are going to have to move any money at all this year. That's the 2nd time we've been able to pull that off in the last 4 years.
That's great. Appreciate you doing that.
And the general fund budget does not require any new debt to make this happen. And then the general fund budget does not include a millage rate increase.
Just a quick comment. You mentioned the ALS a couple times, and in case there's anybody not familiar with that acronym, it's Advanced Life-Saving Services. So thanks again, Chief Kukulis, for making that happen.
So we'll go to the next slide, kind of skinny down even further here. The budget, the proposed budget, total budget is $50,421,813, which is $5,854,563 less than the current fiscal year. And you can see how it's kind of broken out by departments and pots of money there. For the general fund itself, again, it's the lowest budget in the last 5 years. Now, I know 18,000,009 is more than 18,600,000, but again, we made these numbers are pre-health insurance and a number of other things. So I fully anticipate that we will have the lowest budget in the last 5 years. And despite everything we did in fiscal year 26, and despite everything that you're going to see throughout the budget workshops here this week and next, despite having the lowest budget in 5 years, we are doing this in the face of substantial financial headwinds. Between 2019 and 25, our health insurance went up almost 29%. Property insurance went up 96%. Inflation went up 26%. Labor costs, just minimum wage alone, went up 56%. On and on and on and on. We've been able to maintain our millage rate and a couple other things I'm going to get to here in a minute. Get these projects done, advance the city without levying any additional financial burden on our residents. This chart depicts all the cities in Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa County, and Walton County that actually levy a property tax. So you can see where the millage rates are for other cities. The city of Niceville is about in the middle. And again, as I recommended in our last budget workshop, I am recommending we maintain the millage rate at 4.5, which is, again, middle of the road for most cities in the Panhandle, and it's less, significantly less than the median millage rate for Florida as a whole. And I would note, I don't understand the math. I've seen the math, the numbers make sense, but I don't understand it. The actual millage rate this year is less than the rollback rate. So I do not recommend we go with the rollback rate this year, because then we would be imposing a higher tax on everybody. All right, and this chart just kind of depicts what everybody's daily tax burden is based on the assessed value of your home. The one thing I want to highlight for a home with an assessed value of $500,000, every day the property taxes amounts to a cup of coffee. But that cup of coffee gets at you everything you see outside these doors, from the roads to the parks, to the Turkey Creek, to the senior center, the library. And then the chart at the bottom just kind of breaks it down by person and by household. The household is 2.3 people per household, so you can kind of see what 4.5 mils is per day, per person, and per household. We're not only financially secure now, and we should say financially stable, but we are working towards financial security. Our investments have increased over the last few years. The Government Finance Office Association, Government Finance Officers Association recommends the equivalent of 2 months of reserves. That's particularly important here, being on the coast, being in a hurricane-prone area. I would suggest that 2 months is probably not enough, but it's a good start. But as you will know, we're not there yet. We're at 2.99 million. But if we stay the course, we will achieve that 2 months of reserves by the end of next fiscal year. And what I would also say is that you will note in the red down there, this is one of those bullets you've heard me say before. I'm pretty proud of this team for. Each of the last 2 fiscal years, we've made more interest on our investments than we did in the 7 fiscal years between 2016 and 22. We are heading in the right direction with our investments, and we're heading in the right direction with our debt. Again, to guard Niceville's current and long-term financial future, our investments are heading in the right direction, but so is our debt. And by the end of fiscal year 26, I project that the fiscal burden on each individual resident of Niceville is going to be approximately $10, maybe less. That's the lowest tax burden Niceville's had in more than a decade. And we've cut our debt in half in the last 3 years through responsible fiscal stewardship of our residents' tax dollars. How did we get everything done though, and still pulling this off? Grants. Over the last 2 years, we've secured more than $6.5 million worth of grants. If you recall the general fund budget is 18.5. $6.5 million worth of grants, that is equivalent to more than 33% of our total general fund. Now, all those grants did go to the general fund, but it's not the point. It's, if you're comparing apples to apples, more than 33% of our general fund revenue we've earned in grants. Surtax money, appropriations, and just the operational effectiveness and the hard work of the men and women that are sitting behind me that have scrimped and saved and found a way to execute the mission with less money. Because one of the things that I harp on all the time is it is not our money. This money belongs to our taxpayers, and we are responsible every day to be good financial stewards. And every man and every woman sitting behind me, and those who can't be here tonight, has taken that challenge up and has just absolutely knocked it out of the park this year. So this slide depicts the revenues for fiscal year 2027, where they're going to come from. A lot of different revenue streams flow into the general fund, but as you all know, the largest, more than a third, is property taxes. This is relevant, extremely relevant today, with that Amendment 3 that's going to be on the ballot now and on November 3rd. You can see that if property taxes go away, we're going to lose a lot of revenue, and I'll explain why that's going to be really painful here in a minute. But again, it's not the only source of revenue into the general fund, it's just the biggest. But look what the general fund pays for. Again, police, fire, library, senior center, IT, parks, ball fields, roads, all the quality of life stuff. Our public safety is paid for out of the general fund. And then back to my earlier point about the revenues, the property tax, and Amendment 3. If you will note that the police department and fire department combined cost more than all of the property tax we receive. That's standard here in Niceville historically, and it's standard across every single city in Florida. The police and fire department are very, very expensive because they have expensive toys mostly. But they're very, very, they're vital to a community because public safety is our #1 responsibility. But they are very, very expensive to operate. And again, the police and fire cost more than all of our property tax combined. And so, as voters go into the ballot box on November 3rd, I want them to keep that in mind of what we are at risk of losing in the event that we lose property tax. So I'm going to break this down a little bit further. The biggest expense in any organization is the people. But it's the people that make the organization work. It's the people that make Niceville nice. And so you'll see that 77% of the general fund budget pays for people. Now that's not just salary, that's taxes and insurance and FRS and FICA and everything else. And this general fund budget does include a 3% pay raise for every member on the team. The other thing I would like to just to highlight real quick, that $52,000 for economic development, that is $5,000 for the chamber, $5,000 for the Economic Development Council, and then the remaining balances for the Niceville Housing Authority. But I want to make abundantly clear that $42,000 is not tax money. The Niceville Housing Authority hands us a check for $42,000 per the contract, and then we hand it back. And so it's not tax money that's going to the Niceville Housing Authority. All right, just breaking that previous slide down a little bit further by each individual department, you can see how each individual department is broken down by salaries and benefits, so personnel costs, operating costs, and capital, and debt and other. So again, the biggest expense is the hardworking people that serve this community every day. We only have two capital expenses. Number one is the trailer for the recreation department so they can get their equipment around to the various parks and whatnot. An air conditioner for the senior center. This is not to replace an existing non-operational air conditioner, but just to have one in storage just in case, because these things frequently go out. And so we have one or two in storage at all times, and this is just to ensure that we always have one on the shelf just in case. So there's only $20,000 worth of capital expenses in the general fund. Everything else is personnel costs and operating costs. Finally, last slide. We got two more budget workshops coming up, one on August 20th and one on August 25th, right here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. And then after that, we have the first and second reading of our ordinances, one on September 10th and one on September 24th. Council, with that, my presentation is complete, pending your questions.
All right, council, does anybody have any questions for the city manager?
I will say a well-prepared brief tonight compared to last year, and I will say that I am pleasantly surprised, or not surprised, I'm pleasantly pleased, thank you, that the fiduciary responsibility the city takes on to manage the tax dollars as seen per your budget presented. So I think the team has done a wonderful job as well under your leadership. So
Thank you, sir. I cannot even begin to express how hard this team behind me worked. I have absolutely been wearing them out, and our poor Bill, our finance director, the guy's a pit bull, but I've been wearing them out. So, Bill, I love you. Thank you for all your hard work.
Does anybody have questions?
I hadn't planned to. I was just going to answer questions, ma'am.
Okay. Who wants to start?
I will let you go first, Kathy, since you got some highlights over there. I figured you want to ask some questions.
So I want to start with the senior center since that's the biggest thing on topic right now.
Okay.
Tell them what page you're working from.
Oh, page 3. Under income right now. Last year we had 28,000 and this year projecting 190,000. And I know that's for the increase in fees to the senior center.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to talk about how do we mitigate that and make this not such a huge impact to our citizens of Niceville. I've sent you a couple suggestions that I have about, reducing what you're proposing, maybe making a 2-person household, maybe making the second person 50% discount, maybe anybody over 85 free. So I do want to address that, what is staring us in the face with the senior center.
Sure. And I did receive that email. I think those are some good ideas. The senior center director, Julie Mooney, and I are running the numbers to see how that would change the equation. I do know that we have a fairly large group of people that are 85 or over. But the idea of having in a husband-wife tandem, one pays full price, one pays 50%, we're still running the numbers on that piece. Because we got to figure out who's married, who's not. But we're going to rerun those numbers and provide them to you. But I think with everything we got going on with the senior center, whether it's your ideas, the input from the Senior Center Foundation, and a number of other opportunities, I think by September or October, we'll be able to present you with a really solid recommendation on the senior center rate adjustment proposal.
Because I don't want people to think that we're not listening to what they're saying out there. And I really think that we need to look really strongly on not this kind of an impact to our seniors this year.
Okay.
while you're touching on the senior, if I might add, is the idea is to kind of go like the building department where it's self-sustaining and we can take it away from the general fund?
Well, sir, I think that scenario would only play out if the property tax goes away.
Yeah, because right now, looking at the operating expenses, I mean, this is really a very small budget.
It is.
Compared to, how hard would it be to recoup that, to cover the operating expenses, maybe with some capital improvements? in a small, modest amount every year to put into that plan.
So I think when we ran the numbers originally, and so a couple of assumptions. Assuming that the city residents pay $15 per person, county residents pay $30 per person, and assuming all current members remained, we would be able to make the senior center completely self-sustainable. We're not there yet, and I'm not suggesting we go that route at this point in time. But the reality is, long-term, if Amendment 3 passes, we are going to have an extremely difficult time keeping the senior center open in its current, the way it currently operates without financial support from those who use it.
What is the numbers of people using it per year, roughly?
About 1,300, 1,325
Per year or per month?
per youth. How many people use the senior center?
Or let me rephrase it, how many
One-
daily users do we have?
Oh, daily. We are at 205 for last year.
205 was the daily average?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, per day. So it's heavily used.
To follow on, just for a vector check, and really for Kathy, are we more concerned about the cost impact for city residents, or is this a cost impact for non-city residents? Because that's where the biggest increase comes from, the non-city residents. So I'm just trying to, for the manager to try to give him a vector check as to where you're looking to make these concessions.
Well, I think one is the citizens should be obviously the lower tier of that, and then the outsiders come in. I do think the fees right now is presented a little on the heavy side. A lot of feedback we're getting, kind of like what's already been addressed is the dual household, family price and things like that. It definitely would be needs to be reconsidered that as you peak and tweak this too, as we move forward. So I think you're on the right path. I think it just needs to be refined a little bit.
Okay.
So you want me to go to my next question?
Please.
Okay, page 23 and 24, these are all kind of in the same, and it's all under IT. So,
Okay.
towards the bottom, under operating expenses, communication services, we're going from 144,000 last year to 279,000 this year. And I wanted to ask, you can answer that in just a minute, but I wanted to ask on the next page, and I love how you broke this down, so thank you very much how you broke it down by, what each item is costing. But under communication services, I mean, we have like 10 different T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. Why do we have so many different communication platforms?
So I'll break it out I'll answer your first question first.
Okay.
The reason that the dollar amount went up so drastically is historically, all the communication services, each department paid for their communication services. And so this year, we combined all of it into the IT budget. So we took it out of all the other departments. So all the cell phones,
Ran out of time.
too many words.
Out of words, battery life.
So, what we did, instead of having each individual department pay for their communication services, their cell phone, their internet, or whatever, we put it all into the IT budget, and so that's why that number went up. If you look at the communication services and all the other departments, the number's zero.
Okay.
I do have a follow-on question for that, though, with them combined. In the potential activity that Amendment 3 passes and we're down to funding different things, and we decided to levy a fire department surcharge or something like that,
Right.
how do we capture those costs back to who spent the money? Because I mean, I imagine police and fire are a huge portion of these IT costs.
They are a portion. I don't know that I would say a huge portion, but because we have some other large departments and some internet. Some network heavy departments.
So like water, sewer, I mean.
Water and sewer, yeah,
But
right.
are theirs grouped into this, or?
No, theirs I think is broken in that. Oh, okay, they're all in here.
Yeah, those need to be pulled out.
So.
I mean, it's an enterprise fund.
And
We can't put them in this. That's not good accounting.
we have the revenue piece of that accounted for from the water and sewer department. So, and so, man, back to your other question of why we have so many. Some of this stuff is different stuff. Some of it's cell phones, some of it's internet, but we have purposely redundant services so that if if a live cable gets cut, we can switch to a different system. If the cell phone's down, we got Starlink. God forbid a hurricane comes through here, right? And so we have redundant services and redundant service to redundant services to make sure that the city doesn't lose service.
Sorry for all my questions.
Oh, please, please. What we're here
Then page 28, under building inspector, do we not have a building inspector anymore because you have a zero budget?
We do. Again, if you recall, several months ago, we made that an enterprise fund or a special fund, and so now it's all zero. The community development department will be completely self-sufficient based on the fees for buildings, developments, and things of that nature. So it's no longer in the general fund.
Page 30, under police department salaries overtime, we went from 188,006 for the current budget and requesting a $316,000 budget this year.
Yes.
That's a huge increase on that.
It is, and it's a significant increase because it's accurate. Historically, the police prior administration just made some wild ass guesses. Now we got a leadership team in here that are looking at the data, deeply researching and analyzing the data to make sure hours make sense, dollars make sense, equipment makes sense. And when they did their study of overtime, they realized that this was a huge problem. It wasn't properly calculated. And so in historic budgets, there was big slush funds to accommodate any excess overtime. So they did account for overtime, but not in a transparent way, and certainly not in an accurate way. This is far more reflective of reality and what the overtime expenses are projected to be based on the overtime hours in the police department.
And is this normal overtime kind of thing that happens in the police department?
Well, no, it's a little bit of everything. It could be events, right? So, the Christmas parade is overtime, right? And, various events are overtime. 4th of July is, we have to pay them we don't have to, we pay them overtime for, and so things of that nature. So it's both operational overtime and special event overtime.
Okay. Page 33.
Sir, as well as the paid holidays. That's in the-
Oh, I'm sorry, the paid holidays are in there as well. Because they get overtime for working on holidays.
Okay. Page 33, the first line under operation expenses, professional services. We went from current budget of $516,000 to requested budget of $27,500.
Chief, can you help me with that one out? Remember? No, it's Chief Kevin.
That's the fire station architectural. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, those architectural expenses for the Deer Moss Creek Fire Station that we don't have anymore because that design and engineering is done. Thank you.
Billy, not part of that. Okay.
Page 40, under streets department.
Okay.
About under city paid retirement. The total current budget is $549,530, and
I'm sorry, which line are you looking at, ma'am?
so like quarter of the way down under total personnel expenses on page 40.
Okay.
Current budget is $549,500 and requested budget is $357,100.
Yes, ma'am.
Huge decrease, trying to figure that out.
I think that's probably due to a reduce in manpower. Right. So we got less manpower in the streets department right now, ma'am. That's why it's lower.
And it looks like it tracks with the year-to-date, it's 335, so if you extrapolate
But
that.
we're only have a couple of months left.
Yeah, so.
But does this calculate that we're pulling some of this is calculated into the general fund and some in storm water fund?
Yes, ma'am, because unfortunately, we don't have enough people in the Public Works Department, and so these guys do both, and so that's how their salaries are broken out.
Sure, I don't have any more. So page 55, Children's Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have no employees?
Oh, no, we do. We just, a couple of years ago, re-rolled the Children's Park and the skate park and all into recreation. And so it's all encapsulated in the recreation budget now. But there are still employees both at the skate park and at the Children's Park.
Okay, so the youth center, that's why it's zeroed out too?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Okay.
I asked him that same question this morning because I was worried about, as we look at senior center, stability and tracking, how do we tell how much these places are costing us? Right. So that beacon, I understand why it happened. I'm just not sure for long-term tracking, it's our best method of tracking.
Okay. Well, and again, sir, as we discussed this morning, neither the skate park nor the Children's Park cost a whole lot of money. Because there's no capital investments in those. We need to do some capital investment in the skate park this year at a surtax. But both of those entities are, there's only a handful of people. The infrastructure is already there, so there's very little expense associated with both of those entities.
Okay, that was all my questions, and we can meet offline more about the senior center.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me just query the rest of the council. Mr. Tolbert, do you have any questions?
I asked him this morning, I went line by line through my pages this morning, so.
Okay. And Mr. Schatzel, do you have any questions?
No questions, but I'd like to thank you and your staff for putting together a great presentation there and all the hard work you've done in getting this budget prepared.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Rominger, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm a macro kind of guy, so when I saw the presentation that we're decreasing our budget, I was content and didn't really need to dive in much deeper than that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Stoffer, do you have any questions?
No, I just appreciate the probability that we won't be pulling from our enterprise funds.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's just good way to go.
Yes, sir.
And I'm still hoping the Palm Boulevard gets the grant and we go in that direction, or whatever it takes.
You're welcome for that, for paying for it last year. You're welcome for that.
All I can say is, thank you.
Well, like I said, sir, we got it designed and engineered using grant money. And so now if we can go out and get some money from the TPO or anybody else to get that done, I think it would be an amazing addition for Niceville. Certainly improve the traffic flow down Palm Boulevard there, right there by our schools and the post office. It would be a welcomed addition. In addition to, most importantly for me, keeping those kids safe as they're crossing the streets throughout the school day.
So, all right, go ahead, Miss Ally, go ahead, your question, please.
I forgot to ask, I saw where the rent costs for the Mullet Festival in the budget, but I didn't see where you put the cost in to design the plan if we move forward after the vote.
It's in the surtax section, ma'am, and we'll talk about that on Thursday.
It was
We won't be
there.
here on Thursday.
It was in there, 135 in the surtax area.
Okay, I missed that.
Yes, ma'am, it's in there.
So I'm going to ask if there's any citizens here tonight, do any of our citizens have any questions that they would like to ask? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and we will hear from you.
Good evening. My name is Vicki Richardson. I live at 105 Lincolnshire Drive. I am here because of the senior center. But in my questions that I need answered, I figured it might be very easy to come to this meeting to get some of the base questions answered before the September 8th meeting. So my question is, what was the budget for the senior center the past 5 years before we've got this reduced budget coming up?
Mr. Deitch, are you trying to get to a mic? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to get there.
is numbers.
Okay. Stand by one, I'm sure he has an answer for you.
I
Good to
do.
see you. Wonderful. Okay, so if you help me, I just want the total number, what it's at in 22, 23, 24.
So it's
Yes.
budget,
Okay.
current year, previous year, previous year, previous year.
So the numbers he's showing me, 2022 is 319,000, 2023 was 341,000 plus dollars, approximately 497,000 for 24, 25. In 25, 26, it's working at 470,528, which is close to the number that I got from Julie Mooney. And then it says the requested budget is 450, which is not that far off from the 470,000. So my next question was, what would this budget that's already less than last year's look like if we added in the cost of the senior center as a service like Turkey Creek, the senior park, the library, all the things that draw people to this community? What would the budget look like if it was brought up to the actual running cost? And I think she gave me 478,000 this year. We're only talking a gap of 28,000. To allow seniors on fixed income to have a service and a safe place to come at no cost. It would be wonderful, because right now, I go there and I have no cost because I pay city taxes. And it has been explained that non-residents pay a fee because they are not paying city taxes. But I don't have to tell them where I live to go in the library and read a book. I don't have to, if I want to take my grandkids to the city, children's park or walk Turkey Creek, there are no restrictions. So, I mean, I am driving for, I know you guys want to make that self-sufficient, but I see that as a service. So I want you to think about, in the budget, if there might not be a need to just fund that center. My other question is, how many new homes have been added to Deer Moss Creek between, and I've already checked on the rates, houses, very few at 425,000, and the highest one right now is 1,425,000. My numbers show that there are 116 lots in phase 1 and 1A with 115 homes built and occupied. Phase 2, 150 homes at 87% occupied, and the numbers go down because they're in phase 7A and phase 11, building new expensive homes that are, back when we brought those 1,100 acres into the city so that the city could support them, but we would also benefit from the taxes. So I'm not seeing where the growth is being calculated in for this year, and nothing's been approved yet for November 3rd. So that's down the way, and that is increasing. That people keep saying getting rid of property taxes, which might be the end goal, but ridiculous. That they're suggesting increasing the homestead exemption. A lot of people own a second home here. A lot of people are homesteaded here. So it doesn't mean we're going to lose all our tax income from property taxes. So I would really ask you if you have thought about that aspect of, aren't we growing in property tax? And I know it was thrown out that all the property tax that comes in is not enough to cover the cost of police and fire. And I thought there used to be, with all these new homes, some sort of fee taxed on the beginning. Some sort of impact fee to all the new buildings that were supposed to help buffer those kind of costs. So I just am, and you know, that you've answered a lot of questions here with this, but I don't know that you have all sat there and thought about it. Well, okay, you know how many, there have been new buildings built in the last year out there at high rates, and
Ma'am, can I answer that question for you?
yeah,
So this, what the State Department of Revenue has told us is we had approximately $56 million worth of increased or new builds.
56,000
No, 56 million.
million.
Now, 10 million of that is within the CRA district. That means it's not near Moss Creek, and it does not come into the general fund coffers. It goes into the CRA coffers. Okay. Now, having said that, our projected property tax revenue for the upcoming fiscal year is about $80,000 more than it is this year. And if take a look at your property tax proposed property tax document you got in the mail recently, it's possible that your property value went down. Part of my presentation tonight was about the millage rate. Our millage rate, again, we confirmed this with the Department of Revenue because it didn't make any sense. Our millage rate is lower than the rollback rate. I suspect that is because property values went down. That's why we're seeing less revenue, and that's why we're seeing the rollback rate being higher, which is unheard of.
Right.
And so while we had, again, the math it's hard to understand, and I'm not sure that I grasp it yet, but we reached out to the Department of Revenue just this week, or last week, and asked the question, because the math is math. But the math didn't make any sense. But once they explained it to us, it made more sense.
Right.
But the increased property tax revenue that you are believing the city is getting or not, it's not there.
And I don't understand why my math and millage rates, you know, I don't know why we are not influxed with more money for the city, and you're reducing the budget, that there's wiggle room for the senior center is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
80,000, leave some over if you put 28,000 towards the senior center part of the budget.
There is no wiggle room. That's what I'm telling you. There's no wiggle room. We've cut through the fat over the last couple of years. We've cut through the bone, and this year we cut through vital organs.
Yeah, seniors on fixed incomes. And
Well, again, ma'am, and we can certainly talk about
it's
that.
not myself that I'm talking about, it's the people who sit over there going, what am I gonna do if they may charge me me and my husband $540? We can't do that. That's a shame that we would even have to worry about having a safe space for seniors to meet. And I think that if an instructor comes in, there should be punch tickets for $250 a class, and you punch at the door to make sure everybody taking that class paid for it and cover the cost of the instructor. And they're talking about taking that away. I think that if you're going to charge non-residents, if you're going to have to do that, keep it at today's rate per person. Don't make this big jump, but I think that I'm seeing enough wiggle room in here that maybe your end number won't be as magnificently low, but there's enough room to bring it up and just cover that and make a lot of people happy. Because I think that we've lost some people, and instead of, I think we could draw back the 4,800 people they have had over the years. Some have died, but her email goes out to 4,800 people. If we started to have that kind of involvement there, that's a big part of our community, and it's a limited, most of them are on very limited income. So just a thought. I appreciate the answers to the questions. I will be back September 8th.
And ma'am, if you'd like, I'll be more happy to stay behind tonight.
I will make an appointment with you,
Okay.
and you, and you, and him, and you, and you.
Well, ma'am, here's the other thing I would offer to you. The mayor and I will be up speaking to the seniors at the senior center tomorrow at 11:30.
I'll be
11:30 at the senior center.
I'll be there.
And please understand when people make the comments that we just take off and don't stay and listen, because the sunshine laws, that if there's not a posted meeting, like the meeting that happened after the city council, only one of us can stay. All the rest of us have to leave.
Right, I know, I said I would make an appointment with you on your time.
Yeah. But so I just want you to know that when people say to you, we don't care because they don't stay and
Oh,
listen.
no.
Yeah, I just want to point that out.
I got that, your time's valuable, thank you very much.
And
Appreciate it.
rhetoric on Facebook does not help anything.
Well, it doesn't, oh, one more question. Rhetoric on Facebook. It said that your salary doesn't just come as a salary line, also some of the money comes from city and water?
Yes, ma'am.
I was hoping you'd say that was a lie. Why is your bottom line not coming out of salary, coming out of money that goes directly to cover the utility of city and water?
I understand your question. So here's why. I am not the only one that falls into that category. We have a number of employees, many of them are sitting in this room, whose salaries are split between multiple departments. And here's why. Because we work on water and sewer projects, we work on sanitation projects, we work on stormwater projects. And so we build those enterprise funds for our time. And because I'm not just doing general fund work, so I'm not just working for the police department or the fire department, right?
If they're all okay with that, I just thought that if anybody went to look at public records, everybody should be able to see your salary as true as it is. And
It is true in the record. And listen, every single city and every single county in the state of Florida does the exact same way.
so you're saying you bill your time?
Yes, I mean, yes.
I think the way it was portrayed on Facebook was, they're hiding how much it's really paid because
No,
they're paying them this.
so the bottom line is the same.
Okay.
Where the money comes from, there's multiple pots of money that go in, but I'm not getting paid 140 from the general fund and 50 from the water and 60 from, that's not the way this works.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, yes, Bill.
Mr. Richardson, your statement right before the question to Mr. Dietz, you understand our time is valuable, but there's also something that says that there's a sunshine law that says we cannot attend, we could not have attended the meeting after city council on Tuesday night last week.
Yeah, I'm not.
So it's not
I'm not
because
concerned, but
our
you
time
can
is
meet
valuable.
with, you can meet with citizens one-on-one just to discuss things. True?
Yes.
That's all I'm talking about.
I for one would have liked to attend, I'm sure everyone on the council here would have also, but we could not.
Kathy kicked us out.
Yeah, it's not, it was not, that was not part of my questioning here. I do see Facebook and what people say, but I understood that about here, that it's not required that you sit here once the meeting, that you stay here once the meeting's over. So I appreciate your time tonight.
And the meeting tomorrow, we all were invited to, again, we cannot go, only one person can go to that meeting tomorrow at the senior center.
Oh, that's okay, but if he's answering questions, he's gonna hear from.
But I just want you to know that when you hear
You
from
all
your
won't be here.
seniors, that we're not there and we don't care, it's because
No.
we're bound by sunshine laws.
I absolutely get that. I'll help spread the word. But being able to hear people's requests from him, that's valuable to hear what people's concerns are. So thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other individuals in the audience that would like to come before the council and ask questions? Seeing none. One last opportunity for the council. Anything you want to bring up?
For you, adjourn, I will not be here on Thursday.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stoffer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for being here tonight. And again, for all of the staff and the city manager, outstanding work on this year's budget, and we appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Thank you. And council, if you didn't see it on your way in, we got our America 250 car sitting out here. If you want to check it out on your way out.
You got matching bracelets with it?
Yeah, the fire department has some cool stuff. Wait for the police department. Good job, Mr. Bill.